NCRP Productions presents Torg Eternity by Ulisses Spiele. The Breifne Crown, Episode 13. Moving forward, we would like to give you a content warning. Tharcold and other realities are places where very bad things happen to good people. Acts and situations in this podcast may trigger those who suffer from trauma caused by sexual assault, torture, slavery, and violence. Please, listener discretion is advised.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Sunday of Possibilities. My name is Greg, and I'm going to be your GM for our game of Torg. At this point, let's have our players introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Tori. I'm playing Evangeline Francis, the monster hunter from Aurorsh.
This is Shan, and I'm playing Azrael, the cyber witch from the cyber papacy.
Hey, it's Barry. I'm running Max Elite, the freedom fighter from Tharcold.
This is Victoria. I'm playing Iara Bay, the necromancer elf from Isle.
Hello, this is David. I'm playing V, the resistance gunslinger from the cyber papacy.
Sweet. And last week, let's have somebody kind of give a wrap-up of what occurred. Can one of you guys do that for me, please?
Let's see here if I can piece together something from what I did right now.
It's like, you guys know I'm going to ask you this, so...
I know,
Someone
but like...
During the game, last week's
remember.
game, I'm not thinking of writing it down.
hoping someone else was going to...
I remember we went
so
I didn't remember.
so Jones, we brief at 08. Our next mission is to go to the Statue of Liberty because we got word that the statue like literally fell over. So the timeline for us to go there moved up. We're going to go there through a roundabout way like we've been going through everywhere else, and we're going to land in Toronto first. We heard word that the Statue of Liberty was being taken over by nature. Somebody named Diana was briefing us about it, and we super respected her, I guess.
So,
She commanded
I
respect.
believe she is Native American.
she's only the deputy director of the Delphi Council for the Americas.
I didn't write that
only.
part down.
Diana Crow.
Diana Crow.
Then we go to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. Baseball
Before
field
that,
is-
though, we got super drunk.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
write that part down because I wasn't involved in
Or
it.
you guys did,
Yes.
the two of us did.
Yeah,
No, I was-
Max
yeah.
and Iara got very drunk.
Very drunk.
With the crew that had gone to
Juliet
Tharcold.
Company.
And we weren't just getting drunk. We were celebrating the life of the two that passed in our last mission.
Yeah, and Elias.
So it wasn't just drunk for the purpose of being drunk.
Right.
I just wanted
It's
to
a
be clear.
celebration of life the way that Delphi assets do.
Yeah.
And then from Toronto, we flew to Burlington, Vermont to get coats.
Yep.
We were told we were going to get a new team member. Haven't met them yet.
But you crashed on the way.
We did. It was a horrible crash.
We almost died.
What caused the crash?
Was one of the,
reality storm.
The reality storm
that was
Reality storm.
moving.
And then we were rolling horribly, and I got trapped in the seatbelt.
The worst one we've ever been in, or from what I understand, any of us have ever seen.
Correct.
and it was moving in a weird way.
Like
Yeah.
it was angry, like it was living.
Yeah.
And we barely survived.
Max Barry
And I think at least where my notes leave off is that 6 Adinos come running at us.
We ended
fought-
up
There's a few more than that,
we fought the Adinos, and there was a person with the Adinos that was tied up initially and then ended up kind of
Which-
helping.
That's
ended
right.
up being V.
Oh, and he was
Yeah.
the cyber police, and I didn't trust him or the
Yes.
church police.
and then we
Church police,
decided
yeah.
to follow the trajectory of how the helicopter crashed and keep walking
Right, yes.
that direction.
Yeah. Because we're not sure where we are. We're in a forest. That's all we know. And we're trying to figure out how to get to
Trying
where
to
we
get
need
to Burlington,
to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have a 1 in 3 chance.
So the forest that you're in this area, it should be forested this far north, but it resembles more of a jungle. So kind of a mix between like a Yucatan jungle and then a North American conifer forest. So that's the living lands being at work.
So we have entered the living lands.
I took one of the
Burlington
skiers.
wasn't supposed to be within the living lands.
Correct.
It was supposed to have been still core Earth.
And Burlington has been established as a staging point for Core Earth for people making sojourns and sorties into the living lands and also receiving refugees making it out of the living lands.
And there was a bit more too. One of the things is our job is to go in, find out how we lost the Statue of Liberty is a hard point. That's a big point because we used to have it as one for core Earth. So not us specifically, but for Earth itself. We're hoping the shard is in the statue. That's a big piece of what's going on.
And we were told not to go near Times Square or
Yeah, to
Jersey
kind of
Tunnel
avoid those
because
two.
it's really bad there.
And we don't know where we are presently. We are lost.
You're lost in the living lands.
Yep.
And the leader of the Adinos, which I can't remember his name,
Baruch Ka.
we're supposed to try to figure out why or what like his role is in the why the statue went down or something like that. We're just supposed to leave him alone.
He's supposed to be around Times Square.
That's it.
Right. One more piece
something
is
involved.
that the Adinos that we took out, the reason we attacked them instead of leaving them is the Red Jaws,
Yes.
which are loyal to Baruch Ka.
Yes.
The Red Jaws are the Sa'ar's clan, so they
That's
are the ones leading the attack of humans on core Earth and the Americas. So, yeah. And V, you were held captive.
Yep.
You were tasked by the La Resistance to investigate sightings of Malraux or rumors of Malraux trying to make inland into North America in Montreal. So your investigations led you down south into the living lands, and you ended up coming across, or I should say, a pack of Adinos came across your trail, and regardless of how skilled you are, they managed to stay pace and overtake you in the living lands and capture you. So is when
These fine chaps showed up. Yeah.
well you seen the helicopter go down, and your captors went to go check it out, and that's when the fight erupted.
Cool. And I took one of the spears. I wrote it down on my weapons.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and at that point, you guys had a bit of a conversation, and right now, that's where we'll pick back up again. So, is anybody doing anything on the immediate?
Other than keeping watch, no.
I think we were all in agreement that we
think-
need to get away from this crash site right before it attracted
Yeah.
more Dinos.
And we're heading, like Tori said, we're heading in the direction that we believe the helicopter trajectory crashed into.
So, when you guys left Toronto, it was still early in the morning, but because of the heavy canopy from this just walled jungle, you are not able to see the sun, and what pieces of the sky that you can see through the openings, especially from the debris in the helicopter coming down, you look up and you can still actually see some remnants of that reality storm continuing to roll up on top. So at this point, you really can't see the sky to kind of figure out what time of day it is.
Or which direction is north or any of that kind of
Correct.
stuff.
So which way do you guys proceed?
I thought one of us had figured out, by best guess, the trajectory of the helicopter, which of course doesn't matter because we were buffeted about, but it's a starting point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will follow that direction. Was it you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It was because we had decided we could see the way the trees and branches had broke, showing which way it came through the canopy, and there was like a slight angle. So even if the helicopter was spinning, it would still continue in that same
Right.
general direction.
direction.
So we decided we're going to keep following
So at this point, I
whatever
think
way.
Evangeline's leading us.
We also didn't want to go the same direction the Dinos were going because V had told us that they were taking him to their leader. So we
Right,
didn't
which
want to go
ended
that
up
way.
being the opposite direction of
Right.
how the helicopter came down.
So as you guys start looking to the direction and you look deeper, and you can just see that the jungle seems to just swallow up any far vision. And when you start walking, the oppressiveness of this jungle just starts weighing down on you. It's a hot and humid, and that's starting to seep in, and you guys are starting to sweat and just kind of feel that sticky sweat from that jungle humidity coming out and just starting to stick to your clothes, just getting your hair all matted, just that gross, icky, sticky sweat that just doesn't evaporate because there's no wind.
Super clammy.
Super clammy. What are you guys doing?
Trailblazing through the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Through the
yeah, I
jungle.
guess just kind of keep going, not super fast, so we don't fatigue super
Yeah.
quickly.
Definitely not going fast. It's maybe about 1 kilometer per hour that you're making your way on foot, just because it's so
That is
dense.
really slow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so are we trailblazing? I mean, are we chopping down the
So who has a machete or who has a way to be able to do that?
I have
I've
a
got a
long
spear.
sword.
Okay.
I've got a spear too.
I have claws.
So I was told that Evangeline is in the lead. She has her longsword out, hacking away, basically trailblazing. Who is behind, and how are you guys moving?
If no one else has a problem, I'll go second. That way I can do the same thing with my slashers.
Okay, so Evangeline's clearing the immediate way, and then you're following up behind her, slashing the things that she has missed.
I'll hold up the rear.
I've got a power dagger. I can't imagine that's going to do very much other than like a vine here and there.
Yeah, not too much.
Yeah, my spear is probably not going to be the best for hacking and slashing, so I'll just roll in the middle.
You guys can keep an eye out on the sides.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be one of my pieces of headwear is the Cyberham scanner. It scans and decrypts radio signals just in case there are any radio traffic. In case we're not alone, besides the Adinos, who I'm assuming aren't going to have that level of tech, but in case there's someone else out here,
Okay.
we'll be scanning.
We'll occasionally look up, see if we can see through the canopy at all, to keep an eye on the storm, see if the storm's clearing.
When you guys started off to where the debris landed through, that was actually a clearing. Right now, you are tunneling through just thick, overgrown jungle. It is dark because there's no sun. It is hot and humid and sticky. You guys are making noise as you're slashing and breaking branches and clogging your way through. Is anybody keeping doing a rear guard?
Yeah.
Yeah, ours in the back, and the rest of us that aren't in the front or the back are also keeping eyes to the side.
So then, from what I understand, basically, Evangeline and Max are on the front, clearing the way,
Yep.
and then Azrael and V are watching the flanks, and Iara is watching the rear.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And at some point, I'm going to call a stop just long enough to listen to make sure that we're not the only noise in the forest.
Yeah. I was just going to say
Yeah.
that
Are
we
we?
should every once in a while stop.
So when you stop, everything kind of seems to be quiet, and then 30 seconds, 60 seconds, you hear the sounds of the jungle start coming to life again. You hear insects start moving, you hear birds start chattering up and down, all around you, up in the canopy. You hear the jungle and the jungle forest come to life. But, other than that, is there anything specific that you're
No,
trying
just to
hear?
make sure that, so when we're tromping through and making noise, it appears that everything goes silent.
Yeah, because it's not a natural sound.
It's when we don't hear the birds or the bugs or anything like that we need to...
Well, again, they're
Start
stopping
being
in the
more
general area
cautious.
that we are when we're moving. So that's what I'm listening for. The other thing that I'll bring up is that as we look about, are we seeing the ruins of whatever was here before? Max doesn't have a whole lot of knowledge of this place, but in areas where he's been, where the reality was specifically coming over the bridge from Tharcold, the old reality gets taken over by the new one, but it's not like everything just magically poof changes.
Correct.
And stuff is controlled. So I'm expecting to see, if this was a habitated place, heavy population, I'm expecting to see, they may be covered in vines, but I'm expecting to see buildings, roadways, that kind of stuff. Are we seeing anything yet?
So as you start clearing away the overgrowth, you're looking for roads, you're looking for the remains of any type of building, any type of
Vehicles,
right. But you're not
power
seeing,
poles,
You're not
nothing.
seeing it.
Which doesn't necessarily mean that it's changed. It also could mean that there just was nothing there. We might have been in an area that was unpopulated, or there probably wouldn't be a cornfield that far to the east, but some kind of field.
Pretty rural.
We could have been in rural.
Right.
Did anyone look at the map? As Max would have looked at the greater things, but not specifically.
Did I have a
Anyone
map
look
of
at
the
the
area,
map?
or was I just kind of dropped in and?
It would make sense if your character did, but much of your gear was ransacked and tossed.
Okay.
And so...
Pretty much the only thing I recover were my guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
All right, and I say we continue, and just every so often, maybe once every half hour, to take a breather and listen to the jungle around.
So you guys continue, and it's miserable. It really is miserable. It's
Chances
hard
are I'm
work.
down to no shirt. So anyone looking, I am covered in scars, head to toe. They don't look. It doesn't look like I'm a cutter.
And right now, I need everybody to make a mind test, difficulty of 10, because what's happening is the combination of the heat, sweat, and the movement, you are attracting every single biting insect that is in this place, and they are coming to feast.
Mind, you said?
Yes.
I got a 12.
12?
6.
17.
17?
10s I roll, I get to add it on and roll again, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
16.
16. So those who made a DN of 12, you're coping with the bugs, but the ones that failed it, you are actually now stymied at -2 on your
I noticed
rolls.
how you didn't look at me the whole time. You looked
The
at everyone
only
else
one
and you go,
that
then the ones that are
actually
stymied. Yeah. So at some point I'm going to put my shirt back on, get frustrated, take it off, put it back on. The shirt's completely covered in sweat and dirt. But yeah.
And then not only
Same
that,
with my trench coat.
little bug corpses that are now drying on, and your cyberware, they're starting to get into that. And for you, Evangeline, especially being up in the front, you got bugs just assaulting in your face. I mean, every few seconds you have to stop because you can feel them crawling into your nose, into your ears. You're breathing, so your mouth is open, so they're crawling into your mouth, and they're just being assaulted. So
The successful mind test mean the other 3 don't mind this?
So they are being just as miserable,
Bugs us.
but they are able to
Good one. We all heard it.
Will
He didn't. He just now did.
that was terrible. Give me a possibility.
I feel like you should give me a possibility.
But they are also being bothered by it, but they're able to have that mental fortitude to push through. So you guys are just, it's like, especially it makes sense being the first 2, you're the ones going in, doing a lot of the hard work, so you're concentrating on your work, you're starting to breathe hard as you're moving through, and it's awful. And so just that constant in your ear, you guys hear them sneezing and coughing quite often as bugs are crawling up their nose, down their mouth. The ones that just kind of get too mad, you see the slap, especially when Max is bare-chested, and that smear of blood when he kills a handful of insects that are on him. You can see just like this cloud that's around your head just constantly forming.
I eat the bugs that crawl on me. They're a good source of protein.
Anybody want to trade?
I'm good.
So remind us what stymied means. I completely
-2
understand.
to all your rolls.
Stymied is a -2 to all of your rolls.
Gotcha. Okay. I want to remind you that we are in the living lands, and the life law says that we're making healing rolls more often. I am still wounded from the crash and everything that happened.
Well, so when the scene refreshes, we get to make a healing roll?
Oh, it's more than that. It says
Every
you get to
hour?
test heal every scene or once a day, whichever is more often. So that's what I want to throw that back with you.
So yeah, the law of life, healing is almost miraculous here. This is, as you partnered up with V, kill off the Adinos, we are in the start of a new scene.
Okay.
So anybody that is injured may go ahead and test for the miraculous healing of the living
Shock
ones.
regenerates after
Shock, yeah.
after you're
out
out
of
of the fight.
combat.
First aid,
You're
DN
So what is the
10.
healing test? Do you
Is
know
it-
it off the top of your head?
Yes.
D10.
TN10, so if you make a good result, then you heal.
With just a die roll, or is there a stat that's added?
If you have
first aid.
if you have first aid, it'd be just
Yeah,
first aid.
It's a first
Alright.
aid roll. Yeah. So if you get the DN10, you heal 1 wound. If you get a good result, it's 2 wounds. And if you get an outstanding, it's all wounds.
All right. Well, that's going to end up being a. Oh no, I'm
You're -2.
-3 because I'm wounded. So it's still going to be a 10.
Okay.
So you heal a wound, but no shock. The shock heals, I think.
The
in
shock will
minutes.
heal
Yeah.
us, yeah. Out of combat shock.
Nope, I don't heal. I'm sorry, I miscounted. I'm a 9, so I'm still wounded. All right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you had a chance to rest,
Right.
you'd be
And
able
what
to.
didn't have all the bugs bugging me and continuously reopening those cuts, letting it. Yeah, I get it.
And your progress is slow. What are you guys doing?
Going until nightfall or till we can't move. I mean, we need to find, if nothing else, as nightfall comes, I know we need to find shelter.
I want to look and see what kind of trail we're leaving behind, in case someone's tracking us.
It looks like something crashed through the jungle,
Yeah,
trust
right.
me.
So it does, I mean,
Because obviously I've seen how well the Adinos track.
the Adinos move like they're undisturbed. They're indigenous to this land, and they know how to traverse through it.
So is there a way, if I can, as we go, since we're going so slow, is there a way to try and cover our tracks?
How would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, think in terms of we are breaking branches, we are tearing down vines, we are.
Are we swapping like a pretty good noticeable path through the? We were chopping down.
I
the
would
rest
assume,
of
yeah.
the-
You're
we're hacking,
Evangeline's
slashing.
hacking away
Right, I'm
with a
tearing
long
stuff,
sword.
yeah.
And
Yeah, all right. Yeah, there's no
If
covering our
anything, the
tracks.
only way it's going to cover is that the living lands just regrows.
Regrows.
Because it's covering it.
And as you think that, you like almost do a double take, and like a branch that you passed that you swore was broken and leaning over seems to have mended and is standing up again.
At Iara's long distance, can she see the path? Because we're effectively going in a straight line. Can she see the path as far as she can see, or at the very edge of it is it starting to disappear?
I don't know, you have to ask her.
Iara, can you see our path behind us? If you look far into it, is it growing back fast enough?
It sounds like the way you just described it is I look right by me and it's right next to me. It's starting to regrow already.
It's just one of those weird things where for whatever reason this particular branch caught your eye, and then when that thought hit, you kind of did a double take, or you look back, and it seemed to be catching, like, when a plant is dehydrated and it's listing, and then when it starts getting water, it kind of, that's what you're seeing in it.
So yeah, it seems like the land is covering our tracks for us.
Well, then I say we redouble our efforts and keep moving, and don't worry about how much we're destroying in the process.
Agreed.
So when you say redouble your efforts, exerting double the energy?
I'm
but not worried that, I'm going to just tear at everything now. I'm not worried about, maybe I shouldn't cut
Make
that.
a small path, you're making a bigger path.
Yeah, because in my head, I know I'm leaving a trail that my kid could follow if he wasn't dead.
Okay. You guys doing anything else?
When we talk range in this game, is it in meters or feet?
The game is in meters.
Okay. All right.
So it's a silly German company.
Metrics.
Germans know their
So
gaming.
we're noticing that they're more affected by the bugs and stuff.
Absolutely.
The two up front are, yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, it's constantly stopping and smacking. And
Does anybody have the ability to make some kind of fire? You could have a torch that might help you with the bugs.
And you get citronella.
Would you let me try my lightning as like making static electricity to see if I can like bug zap?
That's cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, I totally would. You're used to slinging lightning as an attack weapon, and so trying to harness it to where you're not cooking your companions, and then it's not as powerful. It's going to be difficult. It's actually going to be a hard test, but yes, you can.
that's a
They're
great
not
idea,
zapping
because
in the
suddenly,
ass.
around all of us, all the bugs, this big black screen goes right at your character and then falls to death.
So you may attempt.
Not when you said it was going to be difficult. I was just thinking I can just zzz a little bit.
You're just playing with the lightning.
Sounds like we just need to try and get to where we're going.
Use your hand like
Yeah,
little
probably
flies
the best
water with
bet.
all the electricity around it. Just like
I don't think
zap,
we're going to win against
zap.
the jungle, no matter what we do.
She could be like one of the tennis racket.
Yeah.
You guys see the
Like
tennis
her,
racket
that's
ones?
how her
Yeah.
hand
That's
could
what I was
be.
hoping to
And
do.
just like
Yeah.
zap,
I don't know that that's
zap.
going to help us that much, though.
Well, she could be around us, kind of like fanning us.
Just walking like this.
Or maybe she could use like little index finger and just be like, zap. Send
All
out
right, but
little
again,
electricity.
remember, we're in a mosquito storm, and it's not just mosquitoes. So her doing, she's hitting every time.
What
But
if I could make it a survival roll to see if there's anything that bugs natural, kind of a natural bug deterrent, that
Does
grows
anybody
in the
know?
jungle? Like
Like
a weed
mud.
or,
Yeah, does anyone know, like,
a plant of some
herbalism?
type that gives off a certain odor that bugs kind of stay away from, typically in the jungle?
Good thinking. Go ahead and make a survival roll.
Okay.
Does anybody, I was gonna say, if anybody knew like herbalism
let's see.
or plant nature?
Spend a chip on that.
hey, you come from a highly populated.
Hey, I didn't see any
urban
better
area.
ideas coming out of the Tharkoldu here. Let's see. So, survival, it's going to be a 12.
12, not gonna make it. It was a hard roll.
Okay.
So like your character comes from the cyber papacy.
Sure.
Depending on like your background, it just doesn't meet this primitive background
alright.
that's here.
It's a thought that counted.
It was a great thought. It was an absolute great thought.
Did you share that thought with anybody?
Oh, sure.
I will check also and see if I can find anything coming from a less populated.
Maybe there's something that naturally grows
So
here.
he talks about it, and he wasn't able to see anything. And as you look around, so don't even roll.
Okay.
Basically, out of character, it's not one of those things where everyone's going to get a chance to roll
Gotcha,
to
okay.
see which one makes it.
Alright.
You're in the fucking jungle,
Got it.
and it's
Nothing.
thick, and it's hot, and it's gross, and it's sticky, and
a jungle.
bugs love it.
It's a magic jungle. Yeah.
It's
It's just going to be there.
They're just miserable.
So go until the light starts to dim, would be what I would say. Unless something happens before then, go until the light starts to dim, at which point I will mention that we need to start looking for shelter.
So as you guys start, moving around, I mean, by the end of the day, the two people up front, I need you to make toughness checks. DN 10, but your modifiers apply.
I hit straight 10. What's your toughness?
11,
And what did you get for your die roll?
9.
So -1, you'll be at a 10 as well. Exactly the same
There
as
we
me.
go.
So both of us literally just make it.
So by the time that you start thinking you might need to call for a halt, you guys notice that their breaks are getting much longer. They're that's constant trying to catch their breath. Every time that they try to breathe, you're breathing in new bugs, spitting them out. They look like they're having a very rough time with all that work that they're exerting.
And at the last stop, we need to consider finding a space
Yeah, I
to
think that-
stop.
Looking around, do we see any rocks that are kind of set up where we could kind of build a shelter off of something?
You see jungle.
Any fallen trees?
Possibly.
Start looking for a good place to build shelter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Something that maybe we
Something
can.
we can just build
If
off
some
of.
of the trees have big enough leaves that we can use them as a barrier to create a lean-to thing, where it's keep
So
the bugs from penetrating.
At this
you know?
point, why don't we stop and start looking for that as a
Yeah.
group, which I'm thinking somebody could make the roll and everyone else can add to. Is what I'm looking at for some game
Or
wise.
is it something we don't know what else is roaming around in here? Is it something we
Could be that too.
climb up and just secure ourselves inside and up in the trees, so
If
we're
it's
off the ground?
Yeah, it's always good.
Being off the ground for bugs is always good, but then you don't know what else is off the
You don't
ground
know what's
as
in the
well.
trees.
But we also don't know what's on the ground.
Snakes.
We need to make a choice. What's the thought? And I look at you as our leader.
Who's got the highest survival?
Can I look around and
I've
see if
got
I find a
13.
giant fallen tree or something?
So absolutely, what it's going to be is going to be a survival roll. So as you guys are kind of talking about that, you see Evangeline take a deep breath, get up and start looking.
I did mention that I think we all should.
So I said, you guys start seeing her looking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
I want to help.
I'll help,
I'm going
yeah.
to look for the same thing. Let's discuss
got-
what we're finding.
Okay.
What we're looking for, and everyone look in a close distance to us.
I rolled a 12. With
I'm looking for
everything.
something to
I'll add a 1 to your.
layer
So
as
you're
like
adding
a
one?
I'm adding
barrier.
one.
Adding one,
15.
adding one.
I'll add one.
Okay.
16.
16. So with that, you're able to basically make yourself a lean-to using, plenty of cordage, just cut down vines, and just cut down bamboo, and using the leaves. It looks like a pretty decent hooch that you guys put up that can fit all of you.
So knowing what Iara had said about things regrowing, everything that we've taken, we've disconnected it from the ground. After we get it set up and we're starting to sit down, I want to look at the structure. I want to see, are the limbs starting to grow back into the ground? Are the leaves connecting and then
Are we gonna
expanding?
get trapped in it?
Right, exactly.
So what's been cut from life doesn't reconnect.
Okay.
Like the branch that was broken, there was still that living
Yep.
connection, so that's what allowed it to kind of
Large leaves that we bring in for ground cover, they're not just instantly being
Correct.
eaten.
I'm going to remind you guys to hold on to your weapons and your gear and not set this down, because we saw what happened to that helicopter when we went back to go check it for gear, how it already started to deteriorate very quickly.
Good call.
So by the time that you guys look around, find a place, cut your materials, put everything up, it takes about another 2 hours, and you are right now just in that it's dark, but it's not night yet.
I'm assuming cold camp.
Yeah, it seems like it's probably pretty warm here anyway, so we don't.
I haven't felt it get that much cooler, so I would have to agree.
And light would probably attract anything else.
Yep.
Watches.
I will go first.
I think we should have carryover throughout the night. 2 eyes at all times.
Sure, I'll take watch.
How long are we sleeping?
Let's see how long we can.
Till it's light out and we can start moving again.
I can go longer. I just need to rest my arms.
I'll take the last watch.
So who's up first watch?
Myself.
Iara, and then
Azrael.
carryover is going to be Azrael.
Then who's up next?
I'll go next, Evangeline, and then you say if you
You're
want
gonna
to
sleep for
last.
10 hours? Or we 2 hour watches? Or, what are we
They're
doing?
crossover watches.
Okay,
So you're not
we're
talking
doubling.
crossover.
probably. I'm assuming that we're all going 2 or 3 hours, so you're probably talking 9 total
We all go 2 or 3 hours.
with
and then
crossover.
We're going to have
But
an
how
overlap.
much is the crossover? An hour?
I would say at least
Yeah,
an hour.
it's an
Yeah.
hour. We used to do 2 hours at least, and then have that hour overlap. So there's
Even at
always 2
hou-
people.
Even at 2 hours with an hour overlap, it's still what, 10 hours, right?
No, it's 3/5 of 10.
So-
So you're looking at something like 6 to 8 hours.
A long time. Be sleeping in the jungle.
How are you guys setting up your beds?
Are the leaves big enough to kind of
That was
pile
my
and
thought.
layer
We'd pile
up?
leaves for a floor, just so we've got something, and
Get a
then
little
lay
bit
down
off
on
the
that.
ground.
Okay. It's a very uncomfortable night.
I wouldn't expect anything.
Sweat, dirt,
Yep. Bugs,
constantly bugs biting even though we're trying to sleep.
hard ground.
With everybody not getting up off of the ground,
I thought we were.
that's why I asked.
I thought we just said we were getting up
Well,
off the ground.
we're still we've got leaves underneath us, but we're
Leaves
still
to
not
make
like
the floor, but you're
yeah.
not up off of it.
Oh,
So with that, I need everybody to make a toughness check. Modifiers apply.
Oh, that almost rolled to a 3, but it bounced back to the 19.
Guess what? I just rolled a 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I jinxed you.
18.
19.
12.
I failed.
15.
15. So 12 you made it. So with you, Azrael, for whatever reason, the bugs just seemed to find you, so you were not able to get a good restful sleep. And just kind of kept tossing and turning, kept slapping, just, things kept crawling over you, keep waking up as something crawls over your face and your eyes. And you are now suffering from the effects of being stymied.
Okay.
Now, after a full rest, is ours gone, or are we still...
The two of us,
Yeah.
are we still stymied as
Still
well?
stymied.
Okay. And then I'll ask, because it is next day, can I make another first aid roll?
No. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you can do it by the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
So as morning comes and everyone just has a miserable night, especially you guys working and how much you exerted, you can start feeling some water cramps from being dehydrated. Start feeling just like your stomach's now starting to cramp, especially with all the calories that you had to expend. So for no food or water yesterday, everybody is down 2 shock. For Azrael, because you could not get a good night's sleep, you were down 3 shock.
we got somebody's carrying water.
So morning comes,
carrying water.
your party just looks absolutely miserable.
So
We need to consider finding
the lay of the
something.
land, is it flat, or is there any incline or decline somewhere?
Tell me what you're trying to get to.
We're
what
looking
you're-
for, since we're not carrying water, we're going to need to find a water source because we don't
Correct.
know how long we're going to be going through the jungle. So
Right.
typically, things running down at a downward incline, slope, are going to lead us maybe to some type of water. So I want to look and see if there's a way. If we have to make a choice, like we're at an angle or a side of a hill, or if it's something that starts to slope down, I want to take note of it and maybe look at that as a possible path to some type of water.
V,
So
what
I-
are you looking for?
Looking for a water source, something that'll lead us to a
Are
water
you thinking you're going to drink it?
Depends on what we find. If it's
Because
a-
I can get
if
us
it's
to
a-
water right now. Look
Oh.
at the jungle. All I've got to do is dig down 3 feet or so, and there'll be water. But are you going to drink it?
No, we need a flowing water source.
And you still think it'll be safe?
We don't know. That's better than not having any water. No water is going to guarantee us that we're going to maybe get consumed by the jungle. And
Okay.
We're going to have to find something.
So as you look around, it's not just flat. It kind of rolls, like there's a little bit of crest here, kind of goes back down, but nothing sloping like you're on a mountainside or you're up on top at a higher elevation.
I'm going to climb a tree.
I was just going to say, if we climb a tree, are
I'm
we
going to climb
able
a
to
tree
see
and
an
see if I
opening?
see anything, a canyon, any kind of water source anywhere in sight,
Or the direction we're going.
or the direction we're going.
Yeah, if you see any kind of a
Go ahead and roll maneuver.
anything,
Okay.
building,
There's
Maneuver. Okay. Let's have
We-
one of those. All right. 2. Oh, there's a 10. Nice. So that's 12 so far. It's going to be 16. That's 3 plus my maneuver. 17.
17. As you start climbing, the canopy of the jungle is intertwined.
Okay.
And so you find yourself having to not just being able to go straight up, but climbing all of a sudden like one vine that's intertwined and
then
cross over.
Zigzag. Okay.
So from below, maybe about 15 feet up, he just goes into the jungle and you can no longer see him. You can hear
We can hear him,
movement
yeah.
and you can see the branches shaking. You're unable to find a way through this canopy.
Then I maneuver my way back down and say I can't get through the canopy. It's too thick. Maybe you
Is-
can with your blades cut
are-
through the top.
So he's just been moving. Is the jungle silent right now?
I mean, no, the jungle's alive, and so I mean, the regular sounds that you're hearing. So there's no indicator from the jungle that something bad's happening. It didn't just go silent.
Well, I'm more like, because you'd said that as we move, it kind of goes quiet, and when we stop it,
because you're
takes a second.
hacking and God damn it,
Okay.
just like as you're moving through, crashing over stuff, breaking things. So that's making the noise of what
Got it.
Yeah.
Can I
We
try to
can't-
listen for any water noises?
Yeah, absolutely. You hear the jungle, but
Just
no sound
no
of
water
running
trickling
water.
or anything.
Jungles are
Correct.
loud.
Does the sound of the animals that we're hearing or little little critters, is it coming from a certain direction? Are we able to tell?
No, I mean, it's all
Everywhere.
around.
The jungle is alive.
Yeah, it's all around.
Well, I think at this point, we need to consider
going.
maybe hunting something.
Well, if you could dig, you said you could dig and find water. We
Oh,
could
I'm
boil the
confident.
water.
Yeah, I was gonna
In
say
what?
we can create a fire.
I,
and then
I understand.
But does somebody have a canteen to
I have
boil it?
nothing to cook it in.
I have my containers for my little elixirs
There you
and
go.
Will they maintain?
alchemy.
Will they maintain heat?
Are they
I have
glass?
flares.
They're glass.
Then you could boil water in them.
With the slashers, I'm going to start digging into the loam.
Okay.
I'm assuming I'm going to hit water within a few feet, but tell me.
Roll survival.
That is not going to be a good roll. That is going to be a 3.
So as you start digging, what you find that you're coming into is just root systems that you're not getting able to get through. And so how long do you attempt to
Oh.
dig for?
10 minutes or so, because I assumed it would just be a simple. I mean, that was my thinking. I would assume it was just going to be a simple. I didn't realize that the root base was going to be this thick.
Yeah.
But
So-
we're in a
Or-
jungle, so it's
yeah.
going to rain eventually.
Well,
Yeah.
that and the plants and foliage around us, is there one that we'd recognize that would have more water inside of it that we could cut into?
Roll survival.
Yeah, something other than trees.
Or like some kind of plant that like catches it.
Catches
That's not gonna
Maybe a
moisture.
vine of some type. Vines carry a lot of water.
5. It's not gonna do it.
So nothing that you
We're all
recognize.
we're
Yeah.
peaked. We're
I'm going to
We
start
need
building
water.
a rain catch.
Like I'm just
out
thinking
of some
like
large
Avatar
leaves or something. And some of
where
the
Yeah.
plant that you tip
the
down.
vines
and
that are
there's
here.
water
We'll
on
start
the inside.
trying to build
Yeah.
some type of bowl type thing that might be used as a rain catch if it starts
Well, you
raining.
mentioned bamboo, so that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Well, I say we continue moving. Maybe we can
Yeah.
get to a clearing. I mean, and continue trying to go in the direction we were in. At this point, we're lost until we find any kind of a landmark.
Yeah.
I say we just kind of move a little bit slower so we're not overexerting.
Agreed.
Since we're already down food and water,
Lead on.
we'll continue in the same.
You just
Well, we think the
Just-
same direction
that,
is.
that, that sigh of I don't want to do this
Well,
today.
Let's go.
We should be able to see the same direction if we look back at on the ground, because even though things had regrown, the stuff that was already cut should be there on the ground.
Can we even see it? Or has the detritus turned into loam already?
Not that fast, but
Okay.
you can see it starting to, the stuff that was cut.
But we
and
can get
when
a
you
general idea of our
disregard-
direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
I've got
that's the
tracking.
way we're going.
I can go
Right.
tracking if I need to, but
Save that for when we find an animal.
yeah,
Actually, do you see any tracks from around here?
Roll survival.
survival or tracking.
Well, you got to find the tracks first, which is going to be a survival roll.
I'm not doing good with these.
And of course, this is none of our real background.
No, it's not.
None of us hunt.
Survival or find.
It's going to be survival because you're looking for food to survive in the jungle.
Because then that's an 8. If
All
it was
right.
find, it would have been a
Then
10.
let's everybody keep
That's
your eyes
13.
open. If you see anything move, I say at this point, if you see anything move, it's going to be big enough to move plants. It's probably big enough to eat, and we'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in eating bugs, but I have in the past,
You
so it's
have
Oh,
possible.
plus,
eating
remember,
bugs.
you're stymied too. So
Yes, but not
your
by
mods.
not a
Oh
bug.
yeah, that definitely wouldn't have.
Can we pull like a Lion King and lift up a log and get some grubs?
Again, that's
Roll
not,
survival.
not what I'm interested in.
Good.
Hey,
Good source
protein's
of
protein at this point.
All right, find the biggest log. We'll all help move it.
No.
So you're helping?
I'm going to add one.
10?
One?
Oh wait,
I'll add
what are we
one.
rolling?
So-
Survival or strength?
So
Azrael's rolling,
Azrael
looks
is
like.
rolling survival.
I'll add one.
But who's helping?
I'll help
I would
in
like
that
to
one.
help.
Okay, so
Yeah.
+1.
But all right.
So +4 from everyone? Unless you want to roll to add.
But am I rolling survival to lift the log?
It's basically you're rolling survive. It's not just to lift.
Okay.
It's to
Then
find
yes,
the
I'm
right
adding,
log.
I'm adding one. I'm not rolling.
Roger.
Adding 4.
Don't forget your modifiers. You're stymied.
And you're -2.
Stymied, and that's -2, so 8
8.
for myself.
And then
No, I
add
didn't. That's
4.
not everybody else's.
Oh, so we've got a
Plus 4,
12.
so it's a 12.
Oh, okay. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 -2 because you're. Or did you already add that in?
I rolled a 10, so 8 is my -2.
As you're as it whatnot, all of a sudden, through a couple, you just one opens up and you see just these thick, just fat white grubs just scurrying away.
You just dive into them.
Don't even want to cook
Because
it.
I'm crunching ASMR right now.
If you cook them, you'll kill all the protein.
I'm watching. If everyone else does it, I will do the same.
Who's eating?
Me.
Erase 1 level of shock
Yeah.
and erase your stymie.
I'm eating it. That's
I will partake of the proteins.
as I'm gagging.
I wasn't stymied, but I did
All right,
have
if-
shock.
I'm going to have one, and then I'm not going to be happy with it, so I'm going to only eat like one.
Can I remove one shot?
So those who eat remove one shot,
Okay, cool.
And stymied if you have it.
and stymied if you have it.
Okay.
Might not be tasty, but
And I'm assuming that I'm eating more than one. If I can choke down one, I can choke down a bunch.
Yeah, no. In order for you to recover from the shock and the stymie, you need to fill your stomach.
Right, you're not eating just
You're
one.
not just eating just one. You spent a lot of calories.
Yep. Oh yeah,
yesterday.
I get it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's surprisingly and actually very nutty. I mean, the texture is
like
really
chicken.
gross and horrible, but it's
taste.
actually really kind of a nutty.
What kind?
I love the fact that my character
that?
does not
What
have.
kind of nut?
So she's not allergic.
No.
that's why Brazil or
If it
peanut.
tastes like almonds, they're poisonous.
No, it's not.
No, it's good that this character
What
does not
tastes
have
like
the
almonds?
science to know
More
why
like
they
a
taste
pine nut.
nutty.
Certain bugs, if they taste like, because I used to watch the
Cyanide.
survival stuff all the
What you-
time.
what you're talking about is
if
cyanide,
they taste
yeah.
like
Yeah.
almonds, they're poisonous.
Okay.
That's a natural cyanide.
No, they're just like the cute cartoony ones from Lion King.
Right.
Gross.
Or the beginning of the first 8 seasons of Survivor.
Yeah,
The ones that are like gushers when you bite into
Yep.
it.
Add a character.
that's a horrible.
She made the survival roll. It wasn't a critical fumble.
Okay.
So yeah.
She's not gonna like let me pass and then kill us after.
Right.
That sounds like
So surprisingly, guys, you definitely feel better. Put in some expended calories that really needed, but still didn't get a good night's sleep, and you know that you're going to need to find water.
And as I said, as we move now, keep your eyes out for something larger.
Yeah, and
If we could get something like a deer
I'm keeping my eyes up too for anything flying because I've got a bow that I could try to.
flying in the canopy.
You're not going to be. You
Nothing
can't
flying
see
in.
anything through the canopy, so you still can't see the sky.
Okay.
Actually, though, if you
But
do
then-
see something flying in the canopy, it's like a flying squirrel or that. We could take that down.
Yeah.
We could eat that.
Does anybody have anything for making traps?
I do not. Well, I have caltrops, but nothing more.
I have a rope.
I have a spear. Make a trap out of that.
Yeah, if we use the rope, some of the rope, the spear and stuff, if we make a trap.
At our next stop of
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Could definitely try.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say we continue moving, though,
Yeah.
just in
How many
case there's a
bait?
chance we
That
can
if
find.
last resort if we have to.
Yeah, we definitely need to keep moving though.
Are we going through the same progression that we did?
Yep.
Everybody, make your mind rolls.
Nice.
10.
17.
So that's going to be a 17.
12.
And remember, if you're stymied, you add your modifiers.
Yeah, I ate, so I'm good.
9.
9. So
17. I have compartmentalized it.
yeah. So the bugs from last night that you weren't able to sleep, they're just you're
Yeah.
tired, you're cranky, you hate every single insect that has ever lived, and they seem to pick that up. So whereas yesterday you're able to kind of zone it out and deal with it, today it's just bugging you, and you are now at a -2 for being stymied.
I just kind of stung.
You find more grubs.
Guess I'm taking my trench coat and kind of
Progress. did we
wrapping it around my
make
face.
This day. Like,
No.
how many miles does it feel like we went?
Not much.
Oh.
So you're going 1 kilometer per hour, cutting your way through. That's about 0.6
Yikes.
miles.
Yeah, so we've gone maybe 8 kilometers yesterday, and however we've gone today.
So about a little over 4 miles.
And in that
That's
time,
today.
we've seen nothing from the previous world here. Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
We've traveled a little ways. Can I try and crawl through the canopy again? Maybe this is a different density here.
Does it look? We look up before as he's talking about it. I want to look up and see if anything's changed.
Nah, it hasn't.
Yeah, I don't. I think you're going to
Looks just
expend
as
too much
bad.
energy doing
Yeah.
it
Looks just
Can
as
we
bad.
see
until
the
we can start
storm?
seeing.
No.
There's
Nothing.
we
It's
can't
like
even see through the
completely
canopy.
blind.
You hear of a storm above? Does it make sound?
As you stopped and kind of thought about that, listen, you're not hearing that storm before, and it was a gnarly rally storm. It was violent.
It's loud.
I want to continue to make some type of rain catch in case it starts storming. That stuff starts dripping through the canopy.
As you're walking along, you see whatever leaf or whatever cordage that you might be able to to fashion with it. So you start gathering your materials.
Yeah.
You can't make it while you're walking. It's
Okay.
going to take a little bit of time, but you gather your materials that you think you might need.
I do. I work on it while I'm on watch and stuff.
Who is trailblazing?
Those two.
Still going to be Evangeline followed by me.
Need you guys to make toughness rolls.
3.
5.
So both of you, just the day's work yesterday, the cramping from dehydrating, sweating, and losing that much liquid, it's taking its toll. You are both at stymied.
2.
-2. What are you guys doing?
Continuing on. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
it breaks. We'll tear up ground looking for the grubs, I'm assuming that they're probably going to keep us at 0, not better, not worse. But
Right.
at least trying to keep something in our bellies.
Yeah. So, every time, and as you guys notice, their breaks are starting to become more frequent.
Just like yesterday.
And then when you guys are looking for more grubs, they're taking that time just to rest. So they're just kind of sitting down, just bent over on their knees or, head in hands. And it's just glistening. You're starting to get that weird taste in your mouth as your body's, starting to react to the lack of water and being dehydrated. And so even though your skin is just sticky and wet and slimy, your mouth is starting to get dry and it's starting to have an unpleasant odor to it.
We're
So
going
at
on
this
day
point-
2, no water.
Yeah, at this point, I'm thinking cut into some kind of stalk. Not a bamboo-like thing, but something big and,
No survival.
there's a chance.
Don't forget your modifiers.
No, I know. 14 minus 3, that's 11.
You're looking around, you're grabbing some and go to, cut and just hoping for something to drop. And so cut, hoping for something to drop. Cut, hoping for something to drop. You needed a 12.
Oh, of course.
Well,
That's a good idea, though.
so keep thinking about our stop for the night. We need to find shelter again, and maybe we find something up. Have we seen larger fallen trees? Like, are we in a stylized redwood forest where we,
No.
we see?
So this is not a forest.
A jungle,
So
right?
it should be a conifer forest, this far north. But the Living Lands is not. Living Lands is jungle. So it's this weird amalgamation. Yeah, it's this amalgamation of jungle and forest.
It's like Predator jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big vines coming down the trees. Yeah. Really tall, solid, like full canopy.
But they're so intertwined where you guys are at right now. I mean, you can't even see how far the highest ones are.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do the same thing. Endeavor to set up some kind of shelter. Listen for animals.
Were we going to try to stay in the trees because of last night?
Well,
Yeah.
that's what we were looking at. We were not successful
Good
in
to get
finding
above
anything
the ground.
raised.
We can use the cordage to maybe create some
Like
type
a
of
hammock type deal.
hammock or something, We could weave it and create like a webbing that we could lay on.
I'm going to work
I'll
on a
check-
trap.
I'll start looking at up because I have really good survival.
Just to get off the ground, even a few feet, would be good.
yeah.
So then, as it starts getting close to where it's time to make camp, there's 3 things that the group has identified. First and foremost, water is your primary concern right now. You've already identified food and shelter. So, for game terms, what I need is basically, if you're looking for those 3 things, I basically need 3 survival rolls. I want one person to make the roll, and then
That's what I keep trying to tell you guys.
Do you have the
You
highest?
guys keep
Okay.
rolling. Yeah, I've got a 13
Okay,
on
cool.
survival.
okay, so one person to make the roll, but it's going to be, it's something where you can choose which one to make that roll, but that's what you're working on.
Okay.
And then somebody else
Somebody
will
else
need to
has to
make a
do it.
roll for food. Someone else will need to make a roll for shelter.
So I think water is
I think
probably
water,
the most
too.
important, so I'll start looking for water then.
For each of these roles, to the rest of us can help or not.
So who is making the food roll?
My
I'm going to
survival
tell you
is-
guys, it's not me.
What does everybody
9.
have for survival?
I don't-
8.
Well,
I've been
I
9.
don't have any ads in it, but my mind is 11.
Okay, that's good.
So
Yeah,
it's not
that's
me,
better,
as
yeah.
I said.
Mine's
yours?
9, but I'm also stymied, so it's going to drop it down.
Okay, well, I'm not
I'm
stymied.
also-
I'm
I'm
at
also
9, some people-
stymied.
So the 3 should probably be the 3 of us. Oh, but you're
Correct.
stymied, which brings you down to a
Not the
9.
2 people leading the
But
cutting because
still.
we're exhausted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You should go water. You should go food, and I can go.
So then the other 2 of us
shelter.
can add to one of them? Is that
Exactly.
the idea? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I am going to add to water.
Okay, so let's do water first.
Okay.
Iara, you're looking for water. You know you need a 12. You got a +1.
All right. Yeah, it's 14.
V had made a comment about a vine, and then earlier this morning, you seen Max starting to cut vines. So you're like, maybe. And just from your knowledge of your elven background and being out forest, wooded area, something that looks where you feel confident about, you start cutting, and first you feel just like a wetness, a cool wetness, and you see just a stream of water come out of this vine, and it looks like liquid heaven.
Here, take the empty little potion containers I have and start filling these up so we
Yes.
have extra.
I'll start filling up her little vials.
So first thing you do is
Yes, first I'm definitely drinking down some water myself.
absolutely. And so, how many vials?
I don't know. It just says I have an alchemy kit.
So, how many vials do you think Evangeline would have in order to, have? And remember, you're firing these off in your in the cylinder of your gun.
They're not very big.
So they're not very big. So they're more long and just kind of, vials like when you go give blood, that type of thing.
Yeah, but having a few of those as on each person's better than nothing.
So
It
how
comes
many
down
do you
to
think
it.
Evangeline would have?
At least like 10.
Okay. So Evangeline hands you 10 vials that she uses to make her potions.
All right, I will fill up each one of them after I get some of myself.
I mean,
Is there
I
not
feel
much
like you
in that
should
thing?
call everybody over so we can chug out of the
Drink
hose
some
too.
from
Got the
Alter,
tap
yeah.
going, yeah.
I will. Yes,
And hopefully
definitely
there's
do that.
more than just one vine that
There
you
is.
can tap to
Yeah.
as well. So
So once Iara discovered the vine, she calls the people over, points it out, so
Yeah.
everyone gets a chance to. And this water definitely has like a plant taste to it, but you guys have never tasted something so sweet.
Flavored water.
And so, yeah.
tastes like aloe.
So I give her 10 vials, so we each get 2 small vials. 'Cause we're
Did
gonna
fill up all
those
10?
up.
Are we able to fill up all 10?
You're able to
Nice.
drink. So for everyone who had a point of shock down, you're able to erase that.
Nice.
Just one shock?
Just one.
Take that. Go ahead. And then we each have 2 vials of plant water.
Yeah.
Which is like
Plant water.
Vine
Yeah.
water.
technically like 2 little swigs of it, but that's enough
Now,
to, if we get stuck in this,
Who was rolling for shelter?
I was. Here we go.
I'm adding to
No
food.
whammies. 6. Spend my last chip. Ooh, that's 10. All right, so 16 plus 1. 17, though. So that's 4 plus my survival of 9. That's 13.
So with the vinage that you found and remembering what it was last night and the complaints that Azrael had, you're able to fashion a series of hammocks together and even use some of the the big leaves and ferns to create an overhead up on top. So
Perfect.
you're able to get off of the ground
Nice.
and have a little bit of shelter above you.
Perfect.
And who is rolling for food?
Me, I guess.
And
Am I still stymied?
yes.
I'm adding 1
And
to the
but
others.
Evangeline is adding +1.
I'm probably gonna have to use a chip on this one. I feel it.
I've got 3, so.
No, that was a 17. What am I rolling? Survival?
Survival.
15.
As you're moving along,
The gourmet grub. The gourmet one.
so you're looking for the gourmet grubs, but what you actually see are tracks what appear to be some type of cloven-hoofed animal.
So the 2 of you go hunting.
Well, I've
Yes.
got tracking, so.
So roll tracking for me, DN10.
Am I still stymied even though I drink water?
Still stymied,
Alright, be good, dice.
but you lost a shock, or you recovered a point of shock, remember?
15. It's only 9. Are you able to help though?
She
And
can.
add 1 because you're helping me track. So right at 10.
So 10's what you needed. You're confident that you're able to follow this tracks, and what it looks like is you can tell that there's at least 2 different tracks, and it looks to be some type of pig.
Cool. We're gonna keep following those.
Okay. Who is going?
Somebody that's not stymied.
How
Is this after I'm done with my water thing? I can go
So
home?
no. So like this is all happening
Gotcha.
on at the same time.
Okay.
So that's why we did separate rolls.
That's what I was just making sure.
Yeah. So because it's not like, oh, there's a vine. You had to go out and about looking.
Well, I have-
V had to take time to.
I guess I'll go with her then, because she was.
So it's going to only be the 2 of them because the rest of us are all.
Yeah, 'cause he
we've
occupied
already
with the
done
water.
stuff.
Right.
And
Okay.
I've got a ranged weapon, so I can shoot it.
I don't. Well, I'm
Place
lightning.
a nice shot right
I'll
behind.
cook it and kill it in one.
I mean, that would make it easy.
Cook it and kill it.
It'd be quick. Might need that actually.
That's funny.
So taking our time roasting it.
You have absolutely no problem following the tracks. What I do need, though, from both of you, or actually, just one person, but I do need a stealth roll, so that way you're able to
Mine's 11.
follow
Mine's
up.
10.
Well, 9 because I'm stymied. So
8 because I'm stymied.
okay.
So you could do +1, or you can roll to add.
I'll do +1.
Ooh, that was a 3. I'm doing that. 11.
It was a standard difficulty, and working your way very quietly throughout the jungle, you moving slow, and you're not able to slip through this dense canopy and the dense jungle floor. But also, too, it seems like the pigs aren't moving that fast either, because it's very difficult. You're able to do it fairly quietly, and you get to a point where you actually start hearing them and move up closely, and you're able to actually get a shot. What you see is one big sow. It doesn't look like a boar, but it looks like one big sow.
Might be piglets around.
Do you want to shoot it or do you want me to?
Do you want to cook it in one go? And then just
I can definitely
it's
try.
already done and ready to go.
Zap
And then I'm gonna
it.
have my Slayer's gun ready. That way, if she misses, I can quickly try to shoot it before it runs away.
We're making bacon today.
So as you guys are both focusing, roll me mind.
Both of us?
Yes.
Those ones are being bad. I'll try this.
7.
9.
Okay. So as you get ready to cook this pig, go ahead and roll.
Very lightning bolting it.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill it and cook it.
At the same
in one
time,
go.
I love it.
Barbecue it. Yep.
Nice. Cook it, cure it.
I don't like this cosm.
Why am I having like a massive brain fart right now?
Magic's what?
So rolling your
Mind, right? Or spirit?
well, whatever the spell
Depends
is.
on what kind of.
Yeah, but
magic it
like
is.
I have a number in the axiom and I feel like that's wrong. Like why would it be in my axiom?
Well, the axiom is going to be the level of your magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dan's only 8.
so 14.
Absolutely no problem. And so you, it's going to be a good success. So 1 bonus die.
Nice.
20.
So
If I hit, I do fine. It's just the hitting part. So
So you throw out your hand, it just crackles with blue energy as lightning shoots out. It hits the pig. Tell us what we see to this damn thing.
Pig gets struck by lightning. Boom.
yeah, like when you make pork belly, but you like sear the skin part of it, so it's like hard and crispy and like bubbles.
burnt pork ends.
Yes.
Or burnt ends.
Yeah. And that's what the outside looks like, and it like turns hard because
I imagine
Yeah.
like the pig kind of swells
Like
for a second,
like,
and then boom.
well, I don't want it to like blow up and be gross, you know.
All collecting pork bits out of the trees and out of the
We're like
bushes.
pulling out of our hair.
Yeah.
No, it just like it dies, and I char the outside a bit, and then I've got my dagger, so like if it's reasonable, I'll clean it out here and
Make a football out of that
cut
thing.
it up.
So you hit it, the thing just kind of freezes for a moment as it stands in place and thump, just falls over.
Nice.
Maybe we should gut it here.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit
should.
lighter to carry back.
What does
then
it do
you're
to the
not
innards, Does
bringing
it
in more
cooks the innards?
animals
Does
from
it
the
keep it from
nastiness.
spoiling the meat? The
Yeah.
stomach just completely blown out or what?
I don't know what lightning does
I don't
to
know either.
an animal,
Can't be
but
good.
I don't think it blows you up. Like people
yeah.
get hit by lightning and they don't blow
So
up.
True.
yeah, because
Because it's going to go through because the pig's grounded.
Like I'm sure I at least stopped its heart.
Yeah.
yeah, you just
You know,
basically
and
cooked
then-
it as
and
the
then-
lightning
and
went
then-
through it. Yeah.
Cooked it because of.
So when electricity, it's a current, when it runs the body, it will run through the different,
Yeah,
the
kind of-
veins and in the body.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, you always check for exit wounds on someone who's been electrocuted, and they're always somewhere different on the body,
Oh, yeah.
just the way that it travels. So I don't necessarily think that you can just start cutting off chunks. You're still going to need to clean it and,
Oh, yeah.
dress it.
Well, yeah, sure. I meant like I wasn't gonna try to like take it by the leg and drag it like that. Like I'm gonna gut it and
Yeah.
Yeah.
take
So-
out the intestines. And,
Leave that mess here and not take that back to camp.
Very good. That was what I was thinking. Excellent.
yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty simple survival roll. I would say DN8. I think Evangeline probably has had some familiarity with it.
Am I still stymied?
Oh yeah.
So what's yours with stymied?
Well, so I don't have survival. It's in my mind, and it's 11, so I'm 9 with the
Okay,
minus.
so I'll add 1 to you then.
Okay.
It started as an 18. Nope.
Right up next to the gallbladder,
Oh, it's a 20.
almost nicks the gallbladder.
If I'm stymied, I can re-roll on 20s, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
2.
Nice.
42.
42.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
61.
Pretty awesome.
So what does that add to the?
plus 1.
Do I?
That's 16. You're adding 16.
Do I make an au jus and plate it elegantly?
So you're adding 17 minus your stymied of 2, so you're adding 15 to your mind.
Was that
26.
You made it.
You gut this thing just nice and quick. You're able to get out the gut sack without hitting the piss sack or shit sack or anything like that, and just roll out the bag of guts. You're smiling up at Evangeline as you reach into the chest cavity, just cut out the lungs and just pull all those out in one deft movement. And like a born hunter, you just start deboning this thing, right here in the field. So it's pretty slick.
I magically acquired these skills out of nowhere, and I'll
realize you're
probably
true
never be able to
calling
do
life.
them like this again.
So you're right. As you know, all of a sudden you guys are just like, the living land's maybe not so bad. All of a sudden you hear something scurrying down from the top. You look up, and what you
Of
see
course. Can I
is
quickly start shoving food in my mouth?
Did we hear the lightning bolt go off, or are they off in the distance?
They're
hunting?
off in the distance
Oh,
hunting.
Jesus.
I don't think we're too far.
And I
It
will
didn't take us
ask if this
long.
is a combat, is this a new scene?
No, still the same scene.
The
but
bears
this
want to
is-
make that meal roll.
I need to get out of the wound, man.
Oh,
I
man.
This is
think
bad.
we can yell to them.
So what you guys see
No.
is
No.
this two-headed lizard
No.
scrambling
Fuck.
out of the tree.
Dude.
It looks like a.
That ain't good.
Oh,
It looks
weird.
like a dinosaur.
Well,
God
what are
dang
those like
it.
ones that have poisonous bites that like live in?
Komodo dragon?
Yeah,
dragon?
it's like that but two-headed.
Yeah.
It's like
Oddly, is that you think, does this have a poisonous bite? You see like this bright orange around its head.
oh, man.
Fuck.
Probably.
Ain't
Okay.
good.
Well, then it
Looks
probably
like a two-headed
is
Komodo dragon.
gonna be immune to some kind of poison, so I doubt that
Never
freaking
know.
So you
potion
got-
launcher isn't gonna work on it.
You guys failed your mind roll, and so it is going to have surprise.
Ooh,
on
man.
you.
Damn it. After we see it, are we able to yell to the other ones to come help us?
So possibly, but it's going to get that first round as
I got
your
the
lizard
jump on you
brain,
guys.
pun intended, is processing what threat this is. And so while your lizard brain is doing its thing, this big two-headed lizard strikes.
Yay.
And so it is, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, Evangeline's on you. 4, 5, 6, Azrael's on you. 6.
Oh,
So while you're there just cutting away, looking up at, just all happy.
you're all checked out. You see that? Yeah.
You look, you see Evangeline look up, and her face just kind of get this look of terror as you look up and just see this mouth coming right at you.
Well,
Dirty.
shit.
So it has 2 heads.
How tough could it be?
The
if this
first
was a-
one, first head, just out of just this natural reflex, you just instinctively pull back as the mouth just closes in the air right in front of you. But the second head that comes in, it is, what's your unarmed defense?
9.
9. So that is going to be 14. So I beat you by 5. So that's going to be a good success. 1
Uh-oh.
bonus die of damage. Ouch. So that's going to be a total of 19. What is your toughness?
8.
8.
Oh, man.
Did I just die?
You might have just got popped. Oh, man.
Okay, so that is, I beat you by what? 10? By 12? So 2 wounds, 4 shock.
Oh,
Ow.
shit.
Plus, who knows what other kind of, if it was poisonous or not.
I need
Yell?
you now to make a strength roll as you feel where the like a radiating heat from the bite start entering your body.
Oh, no.
11.
11. So you can feel the heat, but as you focus on that, it's like you're pushing it back and you're not allowing that venom to get into your blood system.
They're quick to suck the poison out.
I just almost died. That's okay.
Do you have a
Crazy.
belt on?
The bite
Can you,
itself, right? Screw the poison, it was the bite.
Tourniquet it so it doesn't
Quick,
allow
my
the
arm
poison to
off.
spread.
So we're now into combat initiative. So it's a standard scene. Villains first.
Of course.
That's dirty.
But
One thing-
defend and taunt are the natural
Favorite actions.
Are the favorite action.
Nice.
There was 1 round of combat, so I will allow you to put destiny cards into the pool. Even though it's a surprise, they still combat.
Yeah. I like this mechanic of the game because you never know who's going to go first or not. You know?
Yeah.
It's cool.
So as you guys start moving, Shan, it's going to come back at you because it's tasted blood. So the first head starts to move in on you again. What is your unarmed combat defense? 9. It grabs you. So the bite locks down, but it's not biting into your skin to to take a chunk out of it. What it feels like is it's holding you in place while the other head is turning and getting ready for that kill shot. So at this point, it is a grapple, and you're allowed to make a strength check to break free of the grapple.
I rolled a
Oh,
1.
no.
So you start pulling away, but this thing has you, and the other head comes in for its bite. Oddly enough, though, as you pulled back, just your quick reaction, where your head was, that bite just comes right down on it. You guys are up.
Am I able to yell for the other ones?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna start yelling as I'm loading one of my, or I guess I get getting ready to shoot
I'm not screaming.
my phosphor shells.
Okay. So who's up first? Evangeline?
Sure.
So you start yelling out. What are you yelling out?
I guess I'm gonna start yelling out your guys' names. Go down the list until
Do you remember them?
somebody starts showing up.
So while this is going on, I need all three of you to make a mind roll. So as you're yelling, you're pulling out your gun. You've done this enough where you can draw and fire. It's not going to be penalized, so you can get your combat in.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to shoot with my phosphor shell.
19.
3, and these ones end up being fire. 16 minus the 2.
So it gets a dodge of 12.
14.
14 hits.
Sweet. So then direct hit deals 12 damage and burns 12 damage every round for 1 minute.
Okay. So when your shot hits, and what it looks like though is it hits the scales and the phosphorus. You can see it's the liquid actually running an outline of the scales on the outside of this beast.
They're resistant to fire. God dang it.
That's awesome.
So it's 12 damage, right?
12 damage and burns 12 damage every round for 1 minute.
Armor of 14. Azrael.
And I'm allowed to try, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm still stymied.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to lightning.
And now you're wounded. Now you're wounded.
I'm gonna try to lightning it.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going for
I think that's a great route.
Dodge of 12.
So I'm -2 stymied and -2 wound.
Correct.
So -4. I feel so much pressure right now.
It's only because we're all staring at
Just
you.
don't let her do
We
it.
have these, so
+3 to
I'm
the
gonna
end
play
now.
this to give all Storm Knights something. I would like a possibility, but keep it because I'm gonna use it.
Give all Storm Knights their choice of one possibility, a draw from the Destiny deck, or they can recover 3 shock.
I will
All of
take
us?
a possibility.
Oh, here.
I will
So-
take a
Does it
possibility
include
as well.
everybody
It's
that's-
everybody, yeah.
All Storm
Okay.
Knights.
I'll take
I
a
want a
possibility.
possibility
Oh, yeah, we want possibilities around here.
We're gonna kill this lizard.
We want chips, man.
Baby
I want
Godzilla's
more.
going
Oh,
down.
you want a
You're
berry?
good. Yeah,
Berry
you got,
go? Oh,
you got it.
Okay.
So I'm rolling again. Well,
That's a
success.
minimum
Minimum of
10.
10.
17. I can't do that, huh?
Already spent
I already spent
possibility.
one.
What is your total? So 17 gives you a +4, so that's a
Plus
0.
4,
What's
so
your
it's-
standard?
It's 18, but it's 14 because.
Dodge of 12.
No,
Okay.
no,
You're
so
still
that's-
hit.
you're
It
still good.
hits.
Hey, hit, yeah. You beat his dodge.
This is
Right.
Don't
12.
have dodge.
Yeah.
Because you're adding the 4 that you
Okay.
lost.
Okay. So dodge 12. I got 14.
So it's a
And
good.
it's also ignore 4 armor.
Right. So it's a 14 points of damage against its.
No, it's 16
No,
points of damage.
16 points of damage ignores 4 armor. My lightning.
So beats it by 4, which is going to be 2 shock.
Well, you didn't piss it off with a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
But as you're lightning its head, it does release you.
Okay, good.
Nice.
So while that's going on, you guys are doing your work and your chores back there. All of a sudden, you can just feel that energy that you've come to know as that possibility energy. Just like fill your bodies. Like that's felt really good. And then, what did you roll in your mind tests?
19.
13.
3.
You hear off in the distance, or what you believe you hear, somebody. You hear a scream, and then somebody desperately calling out the names of the party.
I say they're in trouble, and I get up and I run towards the direction.
What? Where's he going?
That's all you guys hear and
I
see.
said they're in trouble. That should be pretty
So
obvious.
they're in trouble. We should probably go.
Yeah, I'm going to follow.
So what I'm going to need then for you guys, and we'll roll it next round, is dex checks.
Hey, my specialty.
So new round of combat,
Not mine.
New card, right?
new card. Put
Villains
your
are
cards
first.
in.
Ah. Did we get to put cards in this round?
I'm gonna
Yes.
put this in
Oh, nice.
for
Okay,
you.
cool.
So the head that you just lightninged, Azrael, it just kind of rears back as the lightning fizzled out. It hisses. Tss, its tongue, when it hisses, it flicks out. You can actually feel it flick against your cheek. You're that close to it.
Ooh.
And its jaws open up. You can see just, that tunnel vision, that hyper awareness of little bits of blood that's around your blood that's lining its teeth, and a drop of poison that's coming off from its poison gland inside as it shoot and just slams down on you and hits.
Oh no. Oh god.
So that is going to be, but it is attempting to grapple again. So what is your strength?
6.
6, yeah. So it holds on. You can attempt to roll to try to break free. So it's going to be strength against my strength and bonus. So it's going to be a DN of 17.
Against my strength.
Yes.
You beat me by 11.
So, but you can attempt to break free. You need a DN of 17 though.
No.
Okay.
It's not.
Well, it means you need
have
to roll
roll
36.
We can always try. I mean, you can't-
Minimum of a
might as well
36.
Oh,
roll.
no. Minimum of 56 because she's -4.
Right.
So then, as this one's holding you, just like before, the second head turns around and goes to bite and just whisks right above your head. So again, just got away from that second one. Who's up?
I'm gonna use a curse shell this time,
Okay.
since it didn't work with my fire one. Oh god. Only a 4. Well, it's not gonna be enough if I use that, so I'm at it, because that's sad. That's better.
So dodge a 12.
19.
Beats it by 7. So good success.
Nice.
So it's 14 damage,
Okay.
and then for the next minute, attacks that hit the target gain 1 bonus die.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's 14 damage plus a d6.
So, and that's for an good success? Because it should have, if you get a good or outstanding success.
I gotta find it.
No worries.
And are we able to, as players, play cards for her on her round? Meaning, could she play a coup de grace and then somebody else give up their card play for this round and also do a coup de grace? Or is
Yes.
it only... Okay.
No.
Because that's the only way you can do... It even talks on it for doing multiple coup de grace, so that's what I was saying. I'm assuming that we must be able to.
So they didn't go
not on
that
your
far out when they were tracking, and they were able to hear, the yell, and you guys are, running to get into combat. So it's, I think you're in close enough proximity to
Okay.
play cards. So we'll allow that.
So it says a hit deals 14 damage and makes target vulnerable. For the next minute, attacks that hit the target gain 1 bonus die damage while he's vulnerable or very vulnerable.
So it doesn't have a greater effect.
So it doesn't
because
have
it's
a
curse.
greater effect. Okay.
So here's the thing. You're adding a d6 right now. If you want, you can add a coup de grace card, which will give you a second d6 added to that 14 damage we already have.
But you're not rolling damage, right? The next attack rolls damage.
No, it's 14
It's 14 damage,
Oh,
automatic.
And you said it was a
then-
good success because so you get a free
So you get
d6.
the bonus? Yeah.
And
I
then
already
everybody
get it.
else gets a bonus die, right?
Oh.
Yes, for the next minute,
Yes.
any attack that hits
Oh,
it
that's awesome.
gets an extra
That is
bonus
nice.
die.
Yeah, that's nice.
So we're all getting
And
a
then you can
bonus
play
die.
that
Bonus
and
die
add
for
another
you, bonus
Right.
die.
And you
So
can use
then
coup de
I
grace as a
will-
second Start by rolling that one. Let's see where that one goes.
In case you
1.
kill it.
So, all right, so it's 15. So use one. Use one of those cards.
Remember, then that'll be the top card there. We won't be able to get the Inspire back.
We still
It's,
can.
yeah, because it's
You
for
can do
any card discarded in exchange for this.
So you
Oh.
can search through,
Oh,
so I'll go
nice,
ahead and
okay.
use that one then.
All right.
So that's a bonus.
So add another dice to it.
15.
You want a 6?
5.
So now we're at 20. I will play a coup de grace for her. So remove that one. Add another d6.
It's a 6.
So that's 25.
Get to
Roll
re-roll
another
that
So
one.
d6.
that's 25 and you re-roll the 6?
Yeah.
So you can only do 5?
6.
So that's
Really-
30. Roll another d6.
Because when you roll 6, you get to re-roll it.
And a
5.
So 35 total damage.
Nice.
There you go.
Fuck yeah. Get rid of that.
That's a hell of a curse.
Go away.
35 total damage beats me by... I have 14, so what, 16?
21.
21? What do we see?
Yes!
Now remember,
Bad
it's a curse.
baby Godzilla, go away.
Baby Godzilla.
Tell us what we see, Evangeline.
Ooh, alrighty. As it still has its mouth clamped over Azrael, I'm gonna try to shoot through both heads and get it to drop her. So it's gonna hit the one that was going in for a bite that missed, and then it's gonna go right through and hit the second one that's holding on to her, and that's gonna open its jaws and she's gonna be able to fall out.
So what you see is that one that just bit right over your head, but just hisses and just angrily at you, and then you see just something just come right into it, bust out through the side, come into the other side that's holding you. It opens up and just kind of falls down as it starts twitching on the ground. Pool of blood starting to form and soak very quickly into the ground.
More food.
So then when we arrive, yeah, great shot. Can we eat it?
Well, we got the boar, or the sow.
There's
We don't know, but
We got a
pig
barbecue.
as well?
We got barbecue pork.
That's excellent.
Lots of food.
Well, you see Azrael just...
Does anybody have any first aid? I mean, I can help.
Like,
her.
Everyone can
are
do
we,
first
Is
aid.
this done now? Because I can also use the close call to...
Yeah, I was going to say, can we still use
Are we still
cards
in
right now?
combat round? Are we still
No,
using
combat's
cards? So
done.
yeah, we're
Okay.
done. Yeah. So now, yeah, we
So
lost.
draw
it.
your cards back.
Yeah, pull your cards back.
No. So we won't be able to get that insight back.
Are we supposed to be drawn back up to 4?
At the beginning of the next combat or at the end of the current? I think it's beginning of the next.
Yeah, no, draw back up to 4, it's fine.
Okay, I need
I have
2.
4. We would have killed it with one coup de grace, probably. The 20,
I don't know.
20 something damage, 21
No, I
damage.
kept
or
rolling all
whatever.
those sixes, so
That was beautiful.
That was
that was
awesome.
Oh yeah, we did it. In
Finally,
good.
these dice are nice to me. These ones aren't.
Your 6s are good.
When you hit, you hit like a ton of bricks. So yes, and then the next question then is going to be, I'm going to look at Iara. Can we eat that?
I
I mean, food is food.
It's poisoned.
That's
Azrael.
poisonous?
It's venomous. Poisonous.
Yeah, I don't think I want to eat venomous meat.
Oh, venomous. My bad. It's venomous because
If
you can see the little orange drips coming off of its teeth.
that just means that when it bites, it hurts you, but we don't know if it's actually poisonous to eat.
Yeah, we don't know. I would say no. We got
into
pork.
that
Yeah, I don't
orange
want. Don't.
liquid.
I'm not playing that game.
Just in case, maybe this is poison. It'll poison tip my spear. The next thing I gouge with it. Don't know, but hey.
Roll. Let's see here. What would that be?
As long as you don't stab our next food with it.
Where I'm from, we do eat snake, so if nothing, I say we take the tail.
Yeah, at least take a little bit.
You can have it all to yourself.
Can we
I kind of like
take
the idea of that pork
the?
belly.
Typically, if you eat like a little
skin
bit
it?
of it, you can like test and see if you have some reaction.
Can we skin it and use its armor and make add to?
Where?
Like a leather.
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
Sure.
some of the armor already has acid or whatever the thing you
Poison.
shot at is still
Oh,
on it.
cursed stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so the questions I got for V, roll either medicine or science. Which one's going to be higher to be able to find the venom sacs?
Definitely gonna be science.
So that way you can dip the tip of your spear into it. Evangeline, roll survival or even beast riding, whatever's going to be higher.
I'm not beast riding.
Got a 14 on my roll.
14. Okay, you're pretty positive you found the venom sacs.
Okay.
And dip your spear into it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a clear,
Okay.
and so it's not that orange, but it's a clear venom.
All right.
But you're pretty sure that's
All right.
where it's at.
Cool.
12.
So,
12?
alright, lizard venom.
You are confident that you can skin it, but skinning takes time.
You've already brought one predator to your kill. Might not be a bad idea to just quickly get out of here.
I don't want to attract anything else.
I'm going to go to town on the tail. I'm going to try and saw that tail off so we can bring that as well.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, if he takes tail, I can just take the armor off, the skin off the tail, and that should be plenty because this thing looks big. Just enough to
It's
layer.
about 3 meters long.
Just enough to
It's like 15 feet
reinforce.
almost.
It's a big,
Yeah.
So you get a
Yeah.
sleeve?
Yeah.
Well, it's enough to reinforce my little trench coat because I'm not very big. I'm
Sure.
small.
That
So
makes sense.
So that's what you're hoping to be able to add to it.
yeah.
Okay.
Or like even if it was just like a vest thingy.
Cut the slice of the tail, peel the
Yeah.
armor
Yeah.
plating off
Some
of
holes
it.
through.
I'll snap
Well,
a
my-
tooth off and keep it
My
as a
trench
souvenir.
coat is already made of monster hide, so it's just like
I love it.
reinforcing
Add
it.
So
Add
what
pockets.
we'll do is you're not going to want to skin it here because, like I said, it does take time. But Max cuts off the tail. Between that, all of you and the meat that you quartered from the sow, from the pig, you're pretty confident everybody can bring that back to camp.
And once we're at camp, you're going to have to tell me how much I have to use of them, but I have flares to get a fire going, or to actually use as a fire.
So who's going to make a fire, or who's going to attempt to make a fire?
Me, I have the flares.
Okay, roll survival first.
Do I get any bonus for having fire?
Yeah, flare pretty much
Actual
makes it easy.
flare.
Flare pretty much
Fire.
is
Crack
fire,
it
so
open.
yeah.
So I mean, it's
Stuffed
the
into your
reason
tinder.
why you still need to find something dry.
What about the flare itself to basically braise the tail?
Well, he wants to cook the
So you're
lizard
going to
with
cook the meat with the
From the
flare,
flare?
itself?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot
Little-
of chemical.
Little too chemically?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna taste
All right.
good.
Anyone want to help me find some kind of...
Sulfur.
Anyone want to come help me find some kind of wood or something to get a fire going? I can
I'm
start
not
the fire.
doing too good. I'm,
Yeah,
I-
you need
I can help look for dry tinder.
I will help heal you. I'll try to help with
Okay.
healing
It
you.
would be better
She
if
looks
you
really
helped
bad.
me, because you could
Okay.
actually make the survival roll.
Okay.
I can make a survival roll.
Right? Both of you could and give me bonuses. That's what I'm getting at.
You
I
want-
see, I
You
see.
want someone to roll.
Evangeline,
Then I won't help, I
watch
guess.
her. We'll be back.
We're
Are
chilling.
we both helping? Are we both helping, or are we?
Hopefully you're both helping.
So I'm going to add one.
You're going to just add one? Okay. With your...
roll.
I'm thinking with your roll, you ought to...
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Keep rolling.
Another nat 20.
42. So you can add 12.
That's good. So I'm going to have a 17. Nope. I'm going to have a 16.
16. You're able to actually make the fire without depleting a flare.
Okay.
And so between the two of them, you're able to get together like a friction fire, something that you might be familiar with from being out in the desert. But you're able to find dry enough material to get a fire going.
Okay.
So while they're getting that fire going, what are you guys doing?
Well, he left the tail there, so I'm working on
So you're skinning the tail?
skinning the tail.
So
and-
you're skinning it to make it usable.
yes, to reinforce my.
What
Coat.
either they don't. So it's going to
They
be
don't have sewing. As
no. So I will either
Probably
do
professional.
survival or beast riding.
It might be profession, too.
if you have a
If you've
profession.
got, yeah.
Just be survival. Yeah, that's not gonna do. That was a 2.
You know, as you're skinning it, you're just not familiar with the anatomy of this type of lizard. Not so like when you're skinning something for use, to be able to tan or whatnot. You have to know some of the body of it. How deep the fat goes. How the thickness of the hide that you're trying to. And by the time it's done, you're just not familiar with this, and you butchered enough where you don't think you're going to be able to use that what's left from the tail.
Darn. All right.
Okay. And lastly, what are you doing, Azrael?
You're getting healed by
Yeah, I need to feel better.
Iara, right?
Because I'm 2
No,
wounds and
Iara's
5
with
shock.
us.
Yeah, well, once I'm done with the fire, I can help you with that, but right now.
So,
But you can make a first aid roll, because remember, where we are, you can make the first aid roll and then make it again.
Okay, okay.
So make your standard.
Well, is make it again mean I get to roll 2 separate times? Or I add my second roll to my first roll?
well, we're in the middle of this scene and for the day, so you can attempt your first aid because
Life.
the law of life in the living
And then
land.
when the scene changes, you can do it again, right?
Correct. Or the next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, whichever is more. So if we change
But-
scenes, that would be a second roll today
That's
and
correct.
scroll
But
tomorrow.
we're
But-
in the same scene right now instead.
I'm not going to try because I'm -4 from 2 wounds and being stymied.
That is correct.
So there's no use in me trying because I'd have to roll a 60 or something to make it.
We'll just
I
have
can try
to-
and first aid. You want to get back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've got a decent first aid, so I was gonna help.
Yeah, mine's 10.
You have a base 11.
Right, but I'm -4, so,
So you're minus.
I'd have
so
to
the
roll
minus 4.
excellently.
You need to roll at least a 17, or is it a 10 for healing?
10.
10.
You would need to roll at least
heal
a
one wound.
16 on the die roll. Ignore everything else. You need to roll at least.
For
a
worst
16.
case scenario, you just don't heal.
Yeah, keep rolling. That's a
Oh,
10.
I was like, you're like 15. Told you.
Oh my.
I've still got a chip left. If you
No,
want.
no.
Use
Because
it.
as soon as the scene changes, you can do it again. Of course,
Yeah.
missed it by 1, but
He's just taunting you.
But so you can only heal from a set of wounds one time with first aid. Since you didn't heal, somebody else can try and heal you.
when we get back for the
Yep. Once we're done with the fire, I will.
I don't have first aid and I don't want to hurt her.
You're not like away there. You're just
Yeah, yeah,
your mind is focused on getting the fire done and,
Yeah.
and keeping the pressure for the friction fire. Once you get that going, you guys look over and you see Azrael just kind of sitting on the ground, slumped up against the tree, her head just kind of leaning against her chest. Her eyes are half closed. Some of the open wounds that she has, you can see just like lines of bugs drinking her blood from those open wounds, and she's not even just trying to wipe them away. She's sitting there just kind of in misery, near passed out.
I'll walk over. I will help you with your injuries.
This climber's not good for your cyberware.
Can I attempt
If you
to
fail,
help?
I can try.
What's that?
Can I attempt to help with the first aid, like cleaning off the wounds?
If you,
I'll assist with a roll.
I have a -6
Okay,
right
just-
now, so.
I'll say I can
assist.
You can assist
with the
with-
There we
roll.
go.
Yeah.
So 16 plus 3.
I'll just add
and then my
one.
first aid. So it's going to be 13.
And I'll add 1.
So 13 is going to be +1,
So,
and then you're adding +1.
yeah.
okay. So,
No, Dave did it wrong.
What?
Dave's 16 is adding +3 to the roll.
Oh, sorry.
okay,
Yeah,
so I'm at a
adding +3.
-3, and you're adding 1.
So I guess it should be a roll.
Or you just add
well,
1.
if you do a +1, then I'm at a 12 total. Like
Yeah.
a -2, and then I'm 12.
Yeah, I'll just do
The
You
plus
only
total-
did 10. Oh,
Yeah.
oh you're 12, which will make it
yeah,
10.
because I have a 13, so
Oh, there you
it's
go.
12.
Well, the better she does, the more wounds she
Yeah,
heals.
we got to have to get to, 15 in order to get the next good success. But 1 will heal a wound.
So yeah, we've got 12.
Okay.
Because if you roll and then it minuses again, then we're not great.
There you
So
go.
between the mud and just full blown field, just packing mud into the wound just to get that bleeding to stop. Some of that water getting down, having you drink. You don't feel great, but you definitely feel better.
Awesome.
Healed a wound.
Held a wound.
Yeah. That's,
So you're just -3 now.
you know,
1 wound?
Yeah.
one
And then the
wound.
idea is as soon as the scene changes, or tomorrow, whichever is the quickest, you can roll again.
It was just 1 wound. And
Just
my
one
shock?
wound.
No shock?
Well,
be
the
one
shock will go as you, because since you're out of combat, shock will recover within minutes.
So I can erase it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, since the pork is cooked, I'm gonna start eating that. Since we already had some water, now I need some food, and I'm hungry after killing baby
Yeah, I'm
Godzilla.
assuming we all eat.
Yeah.
So between drinking, having a hot meal, and then being able to sleep off the ground. If anybody was down shock, and if anyone was stymied, go ahead and erase those.
Day healing would have been better for me. Day healing is a strength roll, not first aid. Wounded characters make a strength test each day to recover, minus, of course, wound penalties.
Okay.
You said shock is back?
Yes.
Okay.
So everyone's back up to full shock, and stymies are gone. What is the watch order, and what do you guys do with the cooked food?
That we don't eat,
Correct.
throw it.
Take it back to where the critters are.
I think we should pack at least maybe a day's ration, at least for
I have
tomorrow.
Definitely pack some
I have a
of those.
backpack, so if we want to like wrap it in some of these leaves and stuff, we can keep it.
That's a
Like,
good
do
idea.
Just a little
I'm
bit.
gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap
I've
some
got-
in leaves and I'm gonna bury it.
Okay. So as you
I
guys
s-
are talking, you see him wrapping food, and then start digging a hole.
Yeah, I've got rope in a backpack, so we can tighten it up pretty good and put it in my backpack I'll carry it around.
Okay. So you're making efforts not to attract more predators. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
You're able to get off the ground. Is the watch order the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the night goes by uneventful.
Thank God.
I dig up my food in the morning.
Yeah.
You and I get a chance to heal again. It is a strength roll, strength test.
That's worse.
I do not heal.
Me either.
Chunk o' pork.
Like my net 0.
So this is the morning of your third day in the jungles of the Living Lands.
Gotta be coming across something at some point.
And you are still working the way that you guys were towards, correct? Who's out in front?
Same order, right?
Doing the same order
Yep.
again?
Same order?
We're doing something wrong,
Unless
you guys.
somebody-
This can't be it.
Yeah, we need to.
No, but remember, you're not getting through fast. This is very
We're just
slow,
going very slow.
and arduous movement.
We're moving like
But we're gonna be in here forever at this rate. There has to be something else that we can do that we're not thinking of.
Maybe somebody that's hacking could go up into the canopy and try to hack a hole through the canopy to see out.
I can most certainly try, but I don't know that we're going to have much chance. But I will take my time and go up.
Roll maneuver to climb.
I want some benefit, so I'm going to bring with me some of the vines, kind of tack it off around my waist, put it around the trunk as I climb up.
So -2 on the difficulty.
No, I just can't. Your choice of how I do it, that's a net 2.
Net 2. So
Probably can't get up. That's what I'm thinking.
You're strong enough to climb, but you're not able to climb through that thick canopy inside and maneuver through.
There's no up. Look, up here. I'm cutting at it. I can't seem to get through anything. Everywhere I cut, there's something in my way. Yeah, we've got to come to some kind of a clearing.
Okay.
So with lack of anything else,
Keep
Keep
on
moving.
Keep on trucking.
trailblazing.
mind rolls as the 2 days of bug bites that are accumulating on your bodies are starting to become even more itchy, and the new bites on top of them.
11.
19.
Max?
This is a toughness
Yes.
Toughness?
No, mind
Not
10.
mine.
mind, so it's going to
Mine
affect
10.
me.
Cool.
I'm
Made
sure.
it by 1.
That is going to be a 6.
Stymied again,
16.
right at 10.
but you made it. So part of the problem too is with you, Max, is not necessarily the bites, but you're also now wondering, like all these little bug corpses in your cyberware, is that going to impact? So it's and
Oh,
just
yeah.
the low morale of everything else just compiling upon.
We're not getting anywhere we're supposed to be going. We've definitely traveled distance. By my
Someone's-
estimates, maybe even as much as 16
One of your
kilometers.
companions nearly
We
died
found
by
nothing.
200 freaking lizard.
Yep.
Did we have a day we were supposed to be
I can't even
day we
remember.
were
Burlington or something?
I think
or
it was
wherever we
supposed to
were?
be the day that we were flying in.
Because I feel like somebody would be starting to look and backtrack.
Well,
at
as
this
difficult a
point.
time as we're having looking this way, you think somebody's going to have much better of a chance coming the other way?
Well, I'm sure they'd be able to see where the helicopter went down because there's
Would
a
they?
giant hole and like some breakage.
Would
Well,
they?
it
Would
have
they be able to come through the storm if the storm's still there? By the time they got through, is the helicopter not going to be, look left and right, covered in
that, and then it's
plants?
the broken stuff would have regrown. Never mind.
Yep. I mean, it's possible, and I'm certainly hoping, but my feeling is we need to trudge forward and continue
Follow
as best we can.
Could I try, just before we do that, could I try sudden burial on a medium blast range of the area that lifts up 5 meters of, or the ground 5 meters and then slams it back down? Maybe it'll clear some space.
From what they're saying, that
not
canopy
gonna
is just so thick.
Okay.
It's not.
Even if we knock
Can
down
you-
a tree, the rest of the trees are going to hold
Grows
it up.
over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't Iara have the ability to kind of like...
That was a card. If you're thinking of like me being able to see in the future,
Yeah.
that was a card that helped me do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was
Never
a cosm
mind.
card,
A
right?
cosm card, yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah.
like. I thought
Yeah.
you were able to do that. Okay.
I haven't put anything in my precognition because I do have a decent amount in that, but I have to have it skilled, and I'm not skilled in there, so
Shoot.
Just
Yeah.
keep on hacking and slashing.
I can keep going.
yeah.
We're missing something.
Not
We're
necessarily.
just moving super
Great stuff.
slow.
Be moving real
This
fast,
is it's
We haven't-
very
we
slow
haven't gone
going.
that far.
Yeah.
really,
There's got to be a way
No,
to be
you
able to
haven't.
move. No, we've only
Yeah.
gone what? Maybe a mile and a half.
No, 16 kilometers. So we're about
Oh, we've
10
gone
miles.
16?
Yeah, we've gone about 10 miles. But again,
Yeah, slow
you know,
moving.
Normally, you'd be able to move about 30 miles a day, so you're only moving about a third of your normal speed.
Okay.
no less than that. 3 days we've gone about 10 miles. You're saying a
Yeah.
kilometer.
Yeah. As you guys are hacking forward, you get a whiff of a different scent on the air. It is smelling more fetid and decayed,
That's my expertise.
almost like plant
Yes, it is.
decomp. So, yeah, you definitely pick up a necromantic feeling with what you're smelling. 100%.
Can I try to key into that more?
Roll necromancy.
Most of my necromancy is in alteration magic, but I have to figure out where.
Okay, so alteration, necromancy is not. If it would be what your necromancy is under. So if it's alteration,
Yeah, everything's
roll-
under alteration.
roll alteration.
Okay. 18.
It's a different scent, but you're willing to bet your life that what you're smelling is what's called a gospog field.
Oh, okay.
Monster Hunter, you like ghost bugs.
Yep. I was like, I should
You're
know
real
that.
familiar with those.
You know what?
I should
agree.
recognize it.
Roll mind.
You probably killed many a ghost bug.
That's not gonna make it.
The bugs that are in your nose is really conflicting with your sense of smell.
So I will alert the rest of the team. Hey, I'm smelling what I believe to be a gospog field is nearby.
Now, do all of us know that? I don't know that Max would.
Everybody. So the Gaunt Man gave all High Lords the
Yep.
ability to plant gospog. So if you
Somewhere we've seen.
Well,
it.
we've
Somewhere you can
already
see 'em.
battled some Gospog at the very, very beginning when we first got the crown itself.
Right.
There was a few
Okay.
there.
But did we? I don't remember. It's been so many weeks.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we identified it. So, all right. So all of us have some awareness of Gospog.
Yes.
No problem.
yes,
Can you tell which direction?
Can I tell which direction?
you guys can smell it, and so you know, like being up in the lead, and then Iara is the one that recognized it. So
My
you-
question is this: are we moving towards it? I mean, we're moving towards it presently, but do we want to?
I say we avoid it.
My only thought is, if it's a Gospog field, it probably is not overgrown with trees.
That's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Is well, we're gonna end
So
up probably having to
Gospogs
fight-
are if I you know out of game I know about Gospogs, but you know what my character know they're typically planted along the river.
You tell me if your character would.
I mean, if we all know about Gospogs, they're typically planted along riverbeds.
Which gives us
water.
potentially water, although fetid water is not the direction I'd go. But it also gives us an opening, something where we can see
follow-
the sun and potentially see distance.
And we can follow
Yeah.
the water to
I say
something.
we move towards
Yeah.
it.
Something different I think is good right now.
I think which is
Yeah.
stealth.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
stealth.
Evangeline,
I'm gonna-
once you,
I'm gonna-
once you
I'm
see
gonna
any
stealth.
break in the foliage, let's slow down.
Yeah. I'm gonna just clear enough we can kind of start seeing a little bit of break, and I'm gonna
Now,
put my
follow-
long
basically
sword back
span
and
out.
then kind of slowly
So if everyone's
work
moving
my way through
slowly,
the vines.
one person go and make a roll for the group. Others can add.
I've got a 15.
What are you
stealth.
rolling?
Yeah, what are
Stealth?
we-
Stealth.
You're,
Yeah,
that's,
it's
Yeah,
yeah.
not me.
Okay, I'm adding one.
Okay.
one.
I'll add one.
You're adding 4.
14 would give me a +1, and I'm adding so a total of
Plus
5,
five.
so that would be a 20.
As much as you are aware, you're identifying places to step. You're moving slow, even slower, but you're moving in and you're progressing through without breaking and getting through this wall of jungle. And what you see is you open as it starts opening up, you see kind of glimpses into some type of clearing. As the party makes its way through the clearing, you see, gosh, maybe it's like about a bog that looks to be just a couple miles wide and maybe about a half mile in front of you. And you can see just like these just decayed, rotting, standing cocoon-like things just interspaced all throughout this swamp, this bog that you moved into. Some of them seem to be pulsing. Some it seems to be like movement inside as whatever's in the gauze pod inside these pods are getting ready to kind of push out. And at this point, we will go ahead and hold off and see what you guys do next week.
All right.
Thank you for joining us on another NCRP Productions podcast. We couldn't do this without you, so please like and subscribe everywhere we're found, including YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, Google, Apple, Spotify, and other great podcast sites. If you'd like to help us continue making more content, we'd love to have your support on our Patreon. And we'd like to give a special shout out to our current patrons, our Siegson Employees of the Month, Michael H., Greg K., F.S., and our Breaker of Seals, Frank H., Christopher C., Matthew K. Thank you all. We truly, truly appreciate it. And a very special thanks to our fantastic artist, Jacob Blackmon, who you can reach on his Patreon under his name, or Deviant Art under the name Prodigy Duck.